Other yellow hat guy here, back with another video. It's been a while since we've done a movie review, and since we've talked Sonic. I feel like that was one of the earlier movie reviews I was doing. Not to be confused with Busta Movie, which, I was looking back at that series. Things were different. The location I was filming it in was different. My teeth were different. I brought back the old hat, though. I just got to be honest. Sonic, when it first was announced, it looked like it was going to be a disaster. And after watching it my birthday weekend, it was only 2 years ago that it came out. Kids back in the day, if you were my age and you waited for Ninja Turtles 2, I don't know if that was 2 years, but it felt like an extremely long time. Maybe it was longer than that. But from Sonic to Sonic 2, it was real quick. Pandemic, it was still the number one movie when it dropped for a bit. And right now, it's the number one movie that just dropped. Let's get into why, though. Because, like I said, I was talking Busta Movie, and I did do reviews where I played Busta Move, the Bubble Bobble inspired game, and talk movie reviews. So maybe I'll do that again and talk spoilers there for movies, and then for now, just give spoiler-free reviews if I can, just face-to-face like this. And a lot of y'all were waiting for this because, when I say a lot, the few of you who watch these at this current time, we talk movies on the side anyway, but I was wanting to do a movie review, for Sonic 2. Why? Because like I was trying to say, my expectations were not that high for the first one, but for the second one, they were through the roof because they didn't disappoint with the first one. While it felt a little too family-friendly, I saw a lot of action in the trailer for this one. So the plot here is this. Knuckles, who you may remember from Sonic 3, was introduced in this movie. Not just Knuckles. Knuckles was the draw, but Tails. Tails, who is in the Sonic 2 game and Sonic's, ride or die, his buddy, shows up. And they had a nice voice for Tails. The fur looked like one of my girlfriend's cats. They did everything awesome. The CGI was awesome. The action was awesome. The characters. I mean, there's a scene in there that I want to spoil, but I won't. Where the fan service was just all there. It was just... I started clapping in the theater, and that begot everyone else clapping because it was like, y'all gave us what we wanted. Spider-Man No Way Home, it gave me what I wanted after all these years of, Spider-Man movies and Marvel movies. It gave me what I wanted because, well, there were leaks out there, and all those proved to be true. Sonic, on the other hand, felt like they paid close attention to these video games and to some of these comic books. There was references in there. There's a video game, Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Had a coffee shop in there, like a Starbucks, named Mean Bean. Throwback there. Jim Carrey was awesome in this movie. Shamar Moore, for whatever reason, is in this movie. He's playing like, a minor character in this, and he was funny. The main character, human character, his wife, her sister from the first movie, returns in this one, and there's a wedding going on for her. And she kind of stole the show with, the way she was acting, her responses to, the trauma that she endured from the first movie to, wait, it can continue happening? Because what it is Sonic's, his adoptive parents, if you will, they did just that. They've adopted him. They give him room and board. And while he's staying with them, on the low, he's pretending to be Batman. He's trying to solve crimes and, help people out and what have you. And he's not really good at it. But, hey, with great power comes great responsibility. And that was the lesson Sonic had to learn in this movie. So they kind of borrowed that theme here. And that was like the human connection here. Sonic's buddy here, played by, James Marsden. I just always look at him as Cyclops, right? He was the Uncle Ben figure, and I'm not saying he lives or dies. I'm not saying any of that. This is still a kid's movie, so It would be crazy if they did something like that, but who knows? Sonic 3 is on the way. Yes, Sonic 3 is on the way, but before we get into that, the plot here is, what should be Sonic 3's story, they merged it with Sonic 2. So Tails, instead of just teaming up with Sonic for some random reason because he looks up to him, is actually trying to warn him about Knuckles. Well, why is he got to warn him about Knuckles? Well, Knuckles has teamed up with Robotnik. You last saw Robotnik in the first movie trapped somewhere. And if you remember that mushroom theme island, you could have taken that as a homage to Mario, but what it really was, in my opinion, was a homage to the Mushroom Hill Zone that's in Sonic and Knuckles, that first mushroom-like planet there. Mushroom Hill, or is it Mushroom Valley? It's probably Mushroom Valley. They had that in there, and Robotnik makes his way back to Earth with the help of Knuckles, and they're looking for Sonic. There was an owl-like character who was like a guardian figure for Sonic. I don't know why I'm doing my hands like that. But, yeah, if you know me, you know owls, and I'm not with them. But this character had a giant emerald that she showcased from her chest. That was the secret that she was hiding. She was a guardian of these emeralds, of this master emerald, mind you, which you learn about in Sonic 3. And there's the floating island that Knuckles has that he's protecting that emerald, and, well, instead of that plot from the game, they're actually looking for that emerald, and Robotnik has his own desires here. So does Knuckles trust him? Does he betray him? You'll have to see the movie to find out, but it's pretty much obvious what happens here, right? If you're familiar with the games, you don't need me to say anything else. So that all out of the way, I told you what I liked about the characters, all of them. Idris, his voice, Idris Elba, that is. I could have went a different person for that voice, but if you're going for this kind of pseudo-African animal, it's an echidna, right? That's where they're found. He's got this warrior blood, and even the way he's dressed to a degree has kind of a an African kind of vibe to him. Okay, that voice could work. Sonic was cool as ever, except when they tried to make him like a little kid. You don't need to do that for Sonic. You can do the great power thing, and it doesn't have to be a human being instilling him in that. He could have just been buddies with this human character and done his own thing. 'Cause Sonic is kind of a jerk. That's what he is, And we all loved him for it when we grew up. It was all about attitude. That's what Sega was. Sega was in your face, and you had the coolness of Michael Jackson. Hence why he wears this glove, the white gloves, and Mickey Mouse kind of vibe. They were going for all kinds of things here that they could, combine into one character and sell it to you, and it worked. It worked. So to try to make it more like a Pixar Disney movie, that fell flat on me. But again, I'm a grown man. This is for families with small children, and they were trying to appeal to them. So I get why they did that. So that probably docked the score from me from an otherwise good movie. Now, I said all good things about it, and just that was negative about it. Some of these jokes fell flat, but again, they're not for me. They're not my target audience. So what keeps this from being a perfect movie? There were parts where it felt like some of the stuff could have been cut out, but by and large, it all flowed together. You're jumbling between what Sonic is doing and then what Robotnik is eventually trying to do, and those two stories come to a head, intertwined with Sonic's Guardians, and then you've got one big shebang here, which was awesome. You've got to stay tuned for the post-credit. I don't think there was two, there was just one. I know there wasn't two, I stayed way past it. Excuse me, but you're going to want to watch that. You're going to want to see that because it pretty much confirms that there will be a Sonic 3, or at least they have the intent to make a Sonic 3. I know Jim Carrey had been on record on April Fool's Day, no doubt, saying, hey, he might be done with movies altogether. And I was like, nah, it can't be true. You can't end on Sonic 2. But he held this movie together. He, as in the first one, was the glue that kept us together. The other human, actual real people, they took me kind of out of the movie, whereas Jim Carrey was like, yeah, I want to see Sonic whoop up on this guy. the coolest heroes have the even cooler villains, right? And what cooler villain could you have than Jim Carrey? I mean, there's lines in there where he just lifts from Donald Trump. He says Donald Trump's lines to make himself look, I won't get into politics in this video, but there's a line there when you watch the movie, you'll see, you'll be like, oh, if you love Trump, you remember that. If you don't like Trump, you remember that line too. But it had me like, oh, okay, he's taking it up a whole notch. His acting was superb. There wasn't a moment in there where I was like, I don't like this, but go see the movie. I'm going to give it 7. I gave it on Facebook 7.4 out of 10. I think because I don't have 10 earthworm gems, I'm going to give it 3 earthworm gems out of 5. I could really give it a 4. I really could give it a 4. We're going to give it 4 earthworm gems out of 5 here. But, I guess I'd have to see it again. And maybe that was my initial thought, was like I didn't want to give into the hype of what I really enjoyed that's spoilery, and say that makes up for a movie. Because if you remove that, that's, I'm going to lean into like a 7 anyway, somewhere between a 7 and 8. But adding that should give it like an 8. I know it doesn't make too much sense because I can't spoil it and give the magnitude of these scenes, but we'll talk about that in Puzzle Bobble. I'll do a Busta movie. I'll bring that series back and we'll talk spoilers in there when I get a chance. But let me know your thoughts. Did you like this movie? Have you seen it yet? Maybe you want to see it based off of what I said, but stay tuned for that special, after credit scene. You're going to want to see that. I'm not sure if it's after credit. It's pretty much like after the movie's done with, you see this, and there's nothing after the credits roll, just to be clear. But anyway, love you guys. Thank you. See you in the next one. I'm getting some strange phone call now suddenly of the yellow hat guy out. Captain Sensation.